I've joined an art program at the beginning of my high school year, and I would like to share what it's like to be there, listing all of the positive and negative experiences coming from an art student, and ultimately if it's worth being in such a place. It was really hard for me to pass up $2,000 of free tuition when I haven't even made a buck. Like I said, this is just my experience, and the problems I address are mainly the students' fault of being dumb. The sun was barely coming up, and you could smell the wet grass from the sprinklers that were turning on. As I was getting seated to my Art 1 class, I saw these young college kids have entered the room. They dimmed the lights, and in giant letters appear, "Fuck all." I couldn't see. Back then, as a freshman, I didn't learn my lesson to getting my 8 hours of sleep. The presentation goes on, and everything becomes a fuzz. Right when my eyes were about to get droopy. Bam! I believe they were handing something out, and I could barely make out the outline of someone approaching me. They would get closer and closer, and eventually they'd reach my desk. I looked down, and the first thing my eyes caught was the orange circle, right over free. And that was enough to get me thinking, this shit is not gonna entice me. I got home, still kinda curious, and I did a little research myself. You must submit 2 to 3 pencil drawings. The still life has to be physically in front of you. And your reference cannot be from a photo, your imagination, or on a screen. I'm just saying, how would they know? Don't quote me on that. On paper size between 8.5x 11 and 18x 24. Personally, I went with the smallest requirement, so it'll be less for me to draw. But you should draw whatever you're comfortable with. You must draw objects, people, or places. For instance, maybe the view outside your window, the window itself. It could be still life objects that are scattered along your table, or it could be the reflection of yourself in a mirror. You would think for such a low acceptance rate, they would only take the best of the best, right? Good anatomy, good values, good fundamentals. Nah. When I was there, my peers get by with hot steamy shit. And they would press so damn hard on the pencil. Sometimes in the middle of class, of dead silence, you could hear it snap. You would hear them sharpen it across the room, like. I believe they wanted you to spend 2 months on your work, but I'd only started a week before the deadline. Based on this video, obviously, I was accepted, and the rest was history. Every week, we do critiques. The problem wasn't the teacher. The teachers there genuinely love their job, and are always open to the students. It's your classmates that make the experience annoying. And let me put this in perspective. Half the class couldn't even draw the outline of a head. And somehow, they were supposed to critique mine. You don't want to tell someone, yeah, I'd probably draw everything. Because you share the next year and a half with them. The teacher walks in and yells out, "Critique beam!" And then we're sent to the corner of the room in number order, like a fire protocol at school. And holy shit, my heart is pounding, praying my classmates don't take my half-ass answer that you'd pick on a piece. The 3 most common choices you would hear from that class would be something about the composition, the tone, or the anatomy. They don't really go in depth in what the artist was trying to achieve. Oh, and that reminds me of this kid who began LARPing his work. One critique lesson, we were on his piece, and everyone was amazed at his whole work. From composition to color theory, it just looked amazing and hyper realistic. But one day, gone. And I know they were strict on their absences. Like, if you were to miss 2 lessons, they would kick you out from the program. I saw him there every time, and I believe I didn't skip a day. And judging based off of his classwork, he could not draw. The best way I can explain how his classwork looked is like one of those medieval cat drawings you would find online. Looking back, The critiques weren't terrible. They were just really, really awkward. Most of the time, the class is in silence as the teacher force takes the students to give an answer. Hey, you didn't cover your paint. You didn't either. Does nobody cover the paint? Ah, fuck it. And that's when snack begins. Every lesson, we are given a little snack break. Usually an orange, sometimes grapes. The students there were very limited, based on whatever the staff members brought, which was not a lot. My friends and I hoped that one of the parents from another student would bring a Chinese meal or donuts, which did happen. Not enough. When they didn't, we would disappear around the campus looking at statues. And technically, we weren't supposed to wander. Some supervisors cared, and some absolutely didn't. But let's be honest, we all know why I actually joined. Well, if you didn't, because everyone in this generation has a short attention span. For the bag I'm holding at the title screen, labeled free, overwhelmingly filled with art materials, if you couldn't tell. Yes, they give you a sack of joy, full of art supplies, but no refills or replacements. I recall one final still life piece. Towards the end of my semester, I'm in the middle of class, and I'm painting the underlayer. Oh, I'm out of paint. And I'd asked the instructor for more. We don't give extra supplies. I had to explain to my parents to get more paint, and now I see why they were so tight on their supplies. Speaking about supplies, the range of media you would reach would be big graphite pencils, 9H29B, and a number of Prismacolors, because I've lost mine, watercolors, pastels, and acrylic paint with 5 brushes that I still use to this day. So, would I recommend it? Yeah. Just don't expect it to turn you into an amazing artist. That's on you. I'm pretty sure YouTube tutorials did more than half the teachers there. But it did give me free supplies, and a time to actually sit down and draw, and also a reality check on how weird the critiques can get. And honestly, that alone made it worth it. And I definitely still think about those mornings, dragging ass, looking like hell, wondering, why did I sign up for this in the first place? And of course, it was for the free art supplies.